Dennis Lin in The Athletic. This was, I believe, on Sunday after the Padres' final game at Petco Park of the 2023 season. He said that there's widespread speculation that Melvin will either voluntarily leave the organization or be fired after the season. So, widespread speculation that Melvin will be gone. And before I get into this, I want to point out this is speculation. This is not Dennis Lin talking to Bob Melvin and Bob Melvin telling Dennis Lin, yeah, I'm thinking about leaving this organization and just saying, see ya. Not that. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's Dennis Lin talking to AJ Preller and AJ Preller telling Dennis, yeah, probably going to fire him after the season. It's just widespread speculation from probably people in the Padres front office, maybe people around baseball that maybe have talked with people in the Padres organization. And that's just the feel that he is getting. That's what I got from what Dennis Lin wrote. And now, widespread speculation, Melvin will either voluntarily leave. Let's hit on that point first. Do I think that that's even on the table? Maybe it's on the table, but it's like it's about to fall off the table, if that makes sense. Like it's half on the table, half off. I don't really think it's on the table. I don't think Bob Melvin would voluntarily leave because he's leaving millions of dollars on the table that he has on his contract for 2024. And him voluntarily leaving, he might not want to deal with AJ Preller, but him voluntarily leaving would probably, in his eyes, send a message that I am quitting on my clubhouse. I am quitting on my players. And that is not something that I want to do. I am not going to quit on these players. I'm going to finish my contract. And everything that he has said to the media, you might not want to take any stock into it because he's just media talk, right? It's just media speak. This is just what he's going to say, obviously. He's not going to tell the media what he's truly feeling if he truly wants to walk away, right? But what he has told the media so far is, I'm going to keep managing this team unless told otherwise. And I haven't been told otherwise about being brought back for 2024. So I don't see this really being much of a possibility at all of Bob Melvin voluntarily leaving the organization. Now, him being fired, that's a totally different thing. That is definitely a possibility because AJ Preller, him and Bob Melvin don't get along. AJ Preller can make Bob Melvin be the scapegoat. Or even if he's not trying to make Bob Melvin the scapegoat, he's just saying, I need someone that I can communicate better with, and we need someone on the same page. Peter, you believe in me, so please let me hire someone that believes in what I am thinking here. We're not on the same page, so I need to bring Ryan Flaherty back to be the manager, and we'll be on the same page. Let this happen. If it doesn't work, then you can let me go. Now, Preller's not going to say that, but that's probably what Seidler is going to think. If I let you hire Ryan Flaherty and have him be promoted to be the manager, this is another manager. In my opinion, I don't think that AJ should be even allowed to hire another manager. If I'm Peter Seidler and AJ comes to my office, or I know Peter, he's not in the office right now, but he comes to me, FaceTime, call, whatever, text, whatever, and he tells me, I want to fire Bob Melvin. I believe this is the right move for the organization. We're not on the same page. It's just not going to work next year. I believe we need to go in a different direction. If I was Peter Seidler, I would say, okay, you're fired too. That's simple. Because AJ Preller, right, the Padres, they allowed him to go hire Andy Green, who had no managing experience, was like the third base coach or something for the D-backs. Yeah, we're going to hire him. Let him hire Jace Tingler, who had like no managing Major League Baseball experience, comes to the press conference and says, I've been managing games in my mind. There's the 2021 Athletic piece about Tingler losing the clubhouse and reports about that and not much respect for Jace Tingler and all that, right? So he gets fired. He allows him to hire Bob Melvin, which obviously I would allow my president of baseball ops, my GM, to hire Bob Melvin because he's an experienced manager, one of the more respected managers in baseball. But then you're going to let him hire another manager? Like, if Bob Melvin didn't work, if your AJ Preller guys didn't work, AJ, Tingler, and Andy Green, your best buddies, they didn't work. The most experienced guy on the market, we didn't even know that this guy was available. But you bring in Bob Melvin, one of the more respected managers in baseball. Any combination of manager hasn't worked with AJ Preller under control here, right? As control of the controller of this team, this organization, right? At what point does Peter Seidler sit there and be like, this is on the guy that's been here the entire time, AJ Preller? And I just don't know if he's going to do that. So AJ, yeah, Bob being fired here, that's definitely more of a possibility in my mind than um, Bob Melvin voluntarily leaving. Now, Kevin Acee did write in the San Diego Union Tribune this week. I believe it was earlier this week. He wrote in the San Diego Union Tribune about how it hasn't been finalized yet. I saw this article and I was kind of reading in between the lines a little bit, and it's like, okay, maybe AJ Preller, there is a chance that he ends up being gone because there hasn't been it hasn't been decided yet. Kevin says here, the people making decisions regarding the team's baseball personnel, both who is acquired and how they are used, could be different than those who have been doing so. That reality looms large over the next week or so. Whatever happens with AJ Preller, Bob Melvin, the approach to revamping the roster this offseason will be altered, according to several sources familiar with the Padres' plans. But who is making these decisions have not been actually decided yet. So that got my mind thinking, like, okay, so is there a little bit of a shot here? There's a little bit of an opening for AJ not to be the president of baseball operations, to not be the general manager here moving forward? I think maybe. So we'll see. I don't think that it feels like Peter Seidler will stick with AJ Preller, especially with what he's going through with his health and all that. Like all he probably wants right now is stability. But why would he want instability with the manager spot again? You know? Maybe these two work it out in the offseason and Preller and Melvin stay together and they do it one more year and it's like, yeah, this is the last dance. Like, we know we're not getting along. We're going to do it for one more year because I know from AJ's perspective, maybe he tells Bob, hey, I know that you only have one more year on your contract. The players respect you. We might not get along totally well, but I'm going to give you one more year because you deserve that. The players want you to have this at least one more year. At least that's what it seems like. And then Bob can be like, yeah, I have one more year under this contract. I'm a respected manager. My players respect me. I might not get along with you, but you brought me in here to come win a World Series. You brought me in here for 3 years. So let me do my job. Let me get this final season, and then I'll be done. Regardless of what happens, we'll move our separate ways. I'll be done. But give me one more season. You got to give me that chance. Give Juan Soto that chance here with the Padres to start the season. Give me that chance, and we'll see what happens. Maybe they do that. But, I mean, one player in that Athletic piece by Dennis Lin last week and Ken Rosenthal described the relationship as unfixable. So I don't know if that's actually going to happen. But, yeah, widespread speculation that Melvin will either voluntarily leave or be fired after the season. I think him being fired is much more of a possibility than him voluntarily leaving. Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Xander Bogaerts, Juan Soto, Joe Musgrove, Yu Darvish, a roster with those players on it. That's going to be a pretty dang good roster on paper probably going into next season as well. And he'll have a probably good shot on paper of winning the World Series. I don't think he's going to walk away from that and walk away from millions of dollars that is on his contract. Because if he walks away, the Padres don't pay him that money. If he gets fired, the Padres have to pay him that money, right? So the Padres might want him to walk away if the Padres don't want Bob Melvin for 2024. But if I'm Bob Melvin, I'm not walking away. I'm making the Padres fire me so I can collect that check.